Yes, so the recording is on. Welcome to HAMK's week in the bootcamp in the online part, and here you can see the general information regarding EIT. So we're a part of a European funded project, and thus we can offer you possibilities. All of the sessions will be recorded, and the recordings will be put on the innoboost.eu website. The Run InnoBoost is concentrating out of 3 online weeks, and the first week of NHL Stenden was last week, and today we are starting the second week, and it's HAMK week. This week is all about design thinking, innovation, and design sprints. And we will dive deeper into the program in a while. The table of contents is here. So today we're having the introduction to the online week, then a bit about the lectures of the week, themes of the innovation bootcamp, some learning objectives, something about the grading, and then we will have a short questions and answers part that will not be recorded. And then we will be ending the day on the part of this session. All right, welcome all. Unfortunately, I cannot see you as I'm having my screen share, but let's begin with the introduction. And as on last week also, we are asking you if you have any questions, write them down on chat. Don't open the microphones or your videos during the session because the recordings will be put on as they are. Okay, this innovation sprint, if I might call it, is divided into 3 parts, so 3 different topics. We will begin today. This is the introductory session. Then tomorrow on Wednesday and on Thursday we will have the real topics of the week. Each lecture session is hosted in Zoom between 10 a.m. and 11 a.m. CET. So all the times are similar during this week. On Friday we will have an open session from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. CET, but on other days we will also be having these open sessions, so discussionary sessions if you prefer, between 12 p.m. so noon and 1 p.m. and each lecture is recorded and added to the innoboost.eu as soon as possible, so hopefully during the afternoon. Then something about us. So we will be having 3 different lectures for you this week. Firstly, we will have Ms. Milla Mäkinen, a doctor and the principal research scientist in HAMK Edu, and her expertise is in addition to pedagogy in service design, and Milla's topic is design thinking. Then tomorrow you will be meeting with Laura-Maija Herra, or Maya as we call her, and she's a principal research scientist in HAMK Edu, and their expertise is in innovation and innovation pedagogy. So tomorrow you will be looking into a tool that Laura-Maija has created regarding innovation. Then on Thursday, on Thursday I will be hosting you a session on design sprints, and my expertise is in community development and then also on service and business design and running these sprints. And we all gladly welcome you here. Then for the interesting part, so the themes or the topics of in the bootcamp this week. First, today, as mentioned, we're going to have sort of a dive. Tomorrow you will be looking into on how to innovate, and after the short introduction Laura-Maija will be having an excellent presentation on why innovation is a necessary skill, innovations, how are they defined, and then on how to create innovation, so methods of the innovation. And then you will be having a short workshop also with Laura-Maija on how to recognize your own innovation capabilities and skills. So that will be a good intensive hour, and it will focus on innovation, both of course on the empirical side, on how innovations are formed, but also you will be having some theory regarding the innovation and some research on how to conduct innovations and how innovations are measured. After the session on the afternoon, we will have the wrap-up session as an open session, and as an assignment, you will be reading an article about innovation, what can you learn from the material, and then you will be looking into the tool that Laura-Maija has created, so the InnoCards, and sort of analyzing on what types of skills and capabilities you possess regarding innovation, and what could you maybe develop regarding the innovation capabilities. So really a hands-on innovation part or theme. Then on Wednesday, you'll be looking into the design thinking, and then we will be having the introduction to the module, looking into the basics of design thinking, different types of methods regarding design thinking, and looking into how design thinking and innovation play together. Then also looking into the methods on how to put design thinking into practice. Well, how is it done? What do you need to look into? And what could possibly go wrong? And that's also with the case. Case is with Milla and Ricardo. So Ricardo is one of our senior lecturers in international business, and Milla and Ricardo have made you a material, a case study if you so wish, on how design thinking is put into practice in HAMK and in the international business studies. Then, of course, on the afternoon, we will be having the open session, sort of a wrap up for the day, and hopefully some discussions and analyzing already what we've been discussing during the day. And as a student assignment, you will be reading or watching one positive and one critical material about design thinking. What can you learn from the material? And then the question is also on how design thinking can boost innovation and what might hinder its innovation impact. So not looking design thinking only through the positive scope, but also adding a sort of a critical sphere into the design thinking. Then on Thursday we will be having the design sprint, the introduction to the module, then looking a bit on how design sprints operate, where you can sprint and where you cannot really sprint. So design sprints are maybe thought of smaller, agile, concrete development projects more so than a long-lasting projects with difficulties on the resources. Then we will be looking in the design sprint methodology, and lastly on how to facilitate the design sprint. And as on all the topics, lastly we will have a case study on how design sprint is implemented. And in the afternoon we will have the wrap-up session, and see how we can maybe jointly discuss the possibilities of design sprints. As for the student assignment, we've collected some articles, some material for you regarding design sprints, and then you can start comparing the design sprint methodology to another development format and look into what similarities, maybe differences you can locate. And as in the design thinking space, also in the design sprint, we want you to look also critically on how design sprints operate, where they are suitable and where they're not suitable. So not just a positive scope, but a more broader spectrum. All right, and those were the three main parts of the week. But in addition, for the lectures, for the smaller case studies, we will have also a larger case study. The students should read 2 articles on innovation, design thinking, and or design sprints, and you should reflect on the materials from your point of view on the matter, but also considering the study demands. And as for the study demands, we have a lot of interesting and interesting students from different levels, from different universities and educational institutes, and we are having bachelor students, master students, and researchers, so doctoral students. And your study level gives sort of the demand on what your perspective should be regarding these topics. So if you're a bachelor student, you should analyze the material from your own perspective, maybe also adding on what you can learn from the topic, why the topic is interesting or why it's not interesting. So focusing on you as a learner, how does it affect your learning? What can you learn from it? And then if you're a master student, you should focus also, of course, on the learning, but in addition on how the processes are led, how the processes or the articles can affect leadership methods in their own area. And this is also from your perspective. So you have the study materials and you need to understand how you could lead the change, maybe through design sprints or maybe through design thinking or maybe through the innovation capability studies. And that's a demand in the EQF7 level, so please remember to add that. Then, if you're a doctoral student, you should focus on comparing and analyzing the theoretical background of the material and the methods used in the articles more throughout. So, of course, also analyzing your learning, but analyzing maybe more in depth of the research methods, of the findings, and maybe also comparing them to other studies. So we have 3 different perspectives rising from the study demands. And please, when you're doing your materials for the week, remember to add on the requirements for your own level in your work. Then for the learning objectives are, and I'm sorry, there's a lot of text in here, so maybe we'll have a moment to read it through. And apologies, there are also some other slides where there's a lot of text, but yeah. So you will have all these materials. You don't have to read this through at the moment. As the week is divided into 3 parts, so the learning objectives are also divided. And now you can see that the first part, the learning objectives, are regarding on how to innovate. And after you've gone through the materials, you've done the case study, you've submitted your learning report, you can understand and explain how to innovate and maybe use AI sustainably as an innovation assistant. The part enhances the students' innovation capabilities and helps them understand the roles and skills in innovative teams through innovation cards. So the first learning objective is really understanding on who you are and how you can innovate and what type of innovation capabilities do you have. Then we will have the design thinking part, and it aims to give you basic understanding of the design thinking approach to problem solving and innovation. And after you've successfully done all the learning assignments, you hopefully will understand and be able to explain the design thinking approach and how it relates to innovation. And the part really enhances your creative thinking capabilities, or it should enhance your creative thinking capabilities, and helps you understand the possibilities and the possible constraints regarding design thinking approach. Then finally, after the two maybe larger themes, on Thursday, we will be looking into the design sprint, and on the design sprint part, the purpose is to understand the design sprint as a development method and how you could implement it in fast development projects, and what steps does it really include. So after all the hard work, you will be hopefully ready to, or you'll understand and be able to explain the design sprint methodology. And as the sprint is an agile method, hopefully also understanding a bit more about the agile methods and the possibilities, limitations, and constraints they might have. So if last week you had a lot to learn, the case is the same for this week. So there's a lot of themes and topics, and all of them are, of course, from my perspective, they're quite easy to understand as a concept level, but then when we go a bit deeper, they have their own nuances also. But hopefully they will be interesting. That's at least what we are hoping. Then for the grading, and I think this is something of interest. So the grading for this course is fail pass, and each part has its own grading criteria, and if you want to have the pass as a grade, then you need to pass all of those. All of the smaller grading criteria. So you need to submit all of the 3 reports as a whole, and then when you have submitted it, then you're eligible for the pass grade, and then you're also eligible for applying into these offline weeks. Sorry. The submissions, sorry, this is still a bit vague, but the submissions must be submitted from HAMK at the latest by end of week 43. And now, as we have just had our information from the Stenden offline week, all of the students should submit their, if you want to apply for the offline weeks, you should submit your material by the end of week 41, so that we have time to select you, or you have time to apply for the offline weeks also. For the HAMK students, HAMK first year students, by the end of week 43. Other students, if you want to apply, then by the end of week 41. Yes, and it's here, I've corrected it in here. But yes, so the grading in detail, as mentioned, if you want to have the certificate, all of the materials need to be submitted, and here the grading is in detail, and this grading will also be put on the innoboost.eu website. But yeah, all of these parts, the learning report should be in depth as a whole, between 1.5 and 2 pages, and in addition, you should submit the case study that's also between 1.5 and 2 pages. And all of these reports can include pictures. If you want to add pictures, you're free to do so. And all of these should have the references done based on the HAMK referencing guide. And we will be putting the HAMK referencing guide to the website also today. I don't think it's there yet. And yeah, The HAMK referencing guide follows the APA 7 referencing instructions. So for some of you, that's familiar, but for some of you, there might be some differences regarding the reference style that you are using in your institute. The grading in detail will, of course, be put on the website also. And learning tasks must be submitted by the end of week 41. Okay, I think that's the week in a nutshell. So yeah, if you have any questions in the chat, I will now be stopping the share, and I'll also be pausing the recording